Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So I want to tackle two major topics that both have a lot to do with each other, but I don't want to talk about one of them for too long, if that makes sense. It concerns both Winston and Roadhog, a tale of two heroes, one that has come from really sort of low ground, not been used an awful lot, to a pretty much 100% pick record in the competitive scene, versus another hero that's been around for quite some time, that's done some significant damage, and lots of people love him, that has gone all the way down to one of the lowest pick rates in the game and is considered a troll pick. Now the reason why I wanted to tackle them both together is that they have a lot to do with one another. You could say to an extent that Roadhog in inverted commas counters Winston, but certainly seeing Roadhog's drop off meant that Winston is allowed to move around a little bit. Sure, you've got Reaper as well that's doing a fair bit of damage to Winston too, but in reality it's not enough considering Reaper isn't picked all that often as well. Let's look at Roadhog first, and we want to be talking about what changes we're going to be expecting from Jeff Kaplan and from Blizzard, maybe even this week. Jeff Goodman posted on the forums about a week ago saying that they tested some stuff with Roadhog and they want to focus on the defensive aspect of Roadhog as opposed to any offensive capabilities. Seeing as he can still put out a decent amount of damage, his damage output hasn't changed. That's worth stressing to begin with. He does less damage per shot, but he also has another shot in his utility, so that's exactly the same. The issue there though is that the ability to hook combo doesn't really work anymore, at least it's very inconsistent, and that's where we're going to start with these Roadhog changes. First and foremost, that needs sorting out as much as possible. The hook combo has been changed quite a lot to try and find this fine line between being able to kill certain characters consistently versus actually doing significant damage to like tanks and even one-shotting Zarya at some point. But because he's had his damage reduced per shot, that needs scrapping. That needs looking at again. Even the cooldown of the hook needs looking at again. 8 seconds for something that's so inconsistent, that doesn't work as well as it should do, is just too much. So if they are going to go in the direction of reducing Roadhog's damage per shot, they need to alter everything about the hook. Maybe even reverting to how it used to be, with how close it pulled them in and how consistent that it actually felt. Because now you can hook a Tracer, you can hook a Pharah, you can hook an Anna, and you will get different results each time. It's incredibly frustrating, and this is one of the main reasons why people have stopped playing Roadhog. It's just that it's not fun to play anymore. That reward of actually getting a decent hook on a small yet mobile target is gone, because sometimes you cannot kill them even though you should, and that's the main aspect. The interesting thing about this post is working around the defensives. Considering that Roadhog doesn't really have any defensives, I don't really know what aspect Jeff Goodman and the rest of the Blizzard team are going to be looking at here, but it really does highlight another major problem with Roadhog, and that's that he has no identity. What's his role within the team now? It used to be as a form of bully, really. It was incredibly good peel, but it was very aggressive peel. What I mean by that is, you see the likes of even Doomfist Diva hanging around being conservative, protecting the team once they get dived. Roadhog does that, he does that very well, but he's also allowed to really push the limits, to push the team back, and to really dictate where he wants the enemy to go simply with how big he is, how he can look after himself, and how much damage that he can put out. It's the positioning game with Roadhog that is incredibly important, and if you can nail that, then you'll do really well with him. You don't want to get caught off guard and get surrounded by the enemy team and you're taken apart like you're in a zombie horror film. So it's the defensive aspect that's really interesting here. How are they going to make Roadhog a much more defensive tank than an offensive one? Well, one of the first things to look at would be his sustainability, but he has one of the best heals within the game. Neither too strong nor not strong enough when it comes to the heal. I think everybody's quite happy with it. It does heal a hell of a lot, but it also gives the enemy more ultimate charge. If you're trying to take a breather whilst the enemy is still shooting you, it's just pointless. Maybe it'll give him some armor. I think that'll make him too strong. Sustain wise, I think he is really strong currently, so focusing on defense aspects for me, I don't really know what it could be. If you have any idea, put us in the comments below. Now that that's one aspect over, let's go over Winston real quick. Does he need a nerf? Well, it does seem like it when you're being picked 99% of the time in the competitive scene, and also having such a big pick rate compared to other tanks in ranked. It really does look like this hero needs toning down, but much like Tracer, he is a victim of the meta currently, and much like another beloved, I can't believe I'm making Harambe jokes in 2017, it's not his fault. I do feel that nerfing Winston isn't really going to change him being used. It might make Diva more of a main tank more than anything. The Reinhardt changes are good, don't get me wrong, but with the current state of the game, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, unless, like we said, these changes to Zarya and McCree that we see on the PTR currently are going to be so prevalent to bring back Death Ball along with Doomfist. That's where you get that strong competition, and that's exactly why we saw those changes on the PTR. But this time, instead of nerfing these particular heroes that are in it, such as Winston, D.Va, Tracer, Genji, Blizzard are trying to buff the other options. Not only is this good from a game standpoint that you've got two very strong compositions playing against each other, you have a little bit more variety, and it's not taking anything away from the current game. By nerfing Winston and D.Va, you risk taking the fun out of those heroes, off for those people that like playing those heroes. However, you end up doing what you did with Roadhog by nerfing him because he's a little bit too strong, and then people just stop playing it. And that's not healthy for anybody, for people playing it, for people playing other heroes, and also the dev team as well. So Winston doesn't need nerfing. His counters need buffing, and that's a good start with Roadhog. That's why it all sort of came full circle. Reaper's in a really good spot right now. I think slowly but surely he is going to come out into the competitive scene a little bit. However, it wouldn't surprise me if this took a couple of months. Doomfist does okay against Winston. It's going to give him a little bit of a harder time, so there is that at least as well. But that's it to round off. I think the first thing to do with Roadhog to fix him is to re-alter the hook to make it like it used to be now that his damage is a little bit lower per shot. And Winston, I don't think nerfing his shield, I don't think nerfing his health or anything in his kit is really going to bring him down a peg but still make him useful. If you nerf Winston, he's going to fall through the floor like Roadhog did. But let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care, we'll see you then.